I wanted to do a quick video talking about following the crowd. Now, this is something that most humans do, and most humans follow their whole life like this, right? And to even be aware of this and then live like this is rare because it avoids discomfort. It involves discomfort, okay? Following the crowd is easy because it doesn't involve shame feelings or any form of rejection. Think about that, right? Whatever the clothes the crowd's wearing, whatever the crowd likes, yeah? You go along with that, the crowd supports, doesn't reject, doesn't turn against you. Nice and comfy, okay? If you look at clothes today, right? Clothes are getting sort of more and more bright colours, logos everywhere, everything, as society becomes more materialistic, right? Now that's accepted by the crowd, right? I have no doubt if Coco Chanel came back from the past and saw the brand today, she would think, what the hell is this, right? This is the way we live today. Clothes are covered in huge logos all down the shirts everywhere, right? Clothes are 5 times the price of before just so that there's this crazy concept of, oh my God, guess how much these shoes cost, It's all gone mental, okay? Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with buying these things because people can express themselves however they want. And when I was younger or in so many different other areas of my life, we all do the same, yeah? In different ways, different things we like. We all do the same in one way or another. In certain areas, we do it in something that we like and we think, fuck it, I like that, okay? But following the crowd, where your whole identity and everything is all that, because you're scared of being rejected, okay? You're scared of being rejected. That's what it comes down to. Society, it teaches this and buy this so that you get away from that feeling, okay? But you've got to ask yourself, when you're a sort of walking billboard for these brands, is that really what you want? Do you think future generations are going to look back and think, hey, that looked great? Of course not. Everything we think looks cool today, a future generation's laughing at, right? Because the things we think are cool is only from the perspective of the person looking at us, not from the future, okay? And look at all the stuff, just go and look back at things in the past and you'll think, oh my God, what were they wearing? What was their hair like? And the list goes on. So it's going to be like that, okay? Now, that's the same for everything in life. Humans, it doesn't take a great amount of thinking to follow the crowd. You don't have to think much, okay? We can just go through the process of life. You buy the same clothes as your friends. You listen to the same music as your friends. You don't think much outside of the box there. As you get older and you tend to buy the things that the people of the same age bought at the same job or the same income as you, and then it all goes along. So people follow a sort of pattern of doing things of what other humans have done before or their parents or whatever. To break away from that is actually where you discover you and where you discover what you want. If I just go online now and I just go on Instagram and I look at loads of footballers, they'll all have exactly the same things. They'll all have the same cars. They'll all have the same watches, okay? Having nice cars, having nice watches, fine, absolutely fine. But are you doing it just for the approval of others? Are you doing it just because you haven't thought much out of the box? The reason it is because people don't think that much out of the box. And people do just copy because it's easy and they just think that. So you've got to ask yourself, what do I really want? Where's my path? What do I like? I mean, then you can go the other way where I'm going to be completely different on purpose. Now that can be from a behavior of, I want to carve out me and I want to reject society because I hate them. Or I want to reject my family because I hate them. Or I want to be different. Or I really hate something about society and I want to be different on purpose. Then that can happen, okay? So it's good to have a balance and think, what do you want? Okay? And think, is the thing that you want getting you rejected? Or is the thing you want getting you accepted? It's very easy to get accepted following things in the crowd. If someone goes out and just buys a nice car, everyone will say, wow, what a lovely nice car they've got, right? If someone goes out and buys something that's different to that and people think is odd or something like, I'm trying to think of some things, maybe going traveling alone to a certain part of the world, which isn't seen as like particularly supported by the crowd. Those kind of things aren't, okay? And I realized that when I was younger, when I was about 18, 19, remember all my friends had sort of cancelled last minute and we were going out on a night out, and I thought, why don't I go out on my own? I thought, because I go out on my own, then I don't have to worry about them letting me down again. So then I did that. And then I thought, well, when you go out on your own, nobody knows you're out on your own once you start talking to people. And I'm a sociable person, so I start speaking to people straight away anyway. So that means that then I can go out when I want. I never have to worry about that. And then I just did it. I thought, my God, other people don't do this because they're too scared of being seen as weird alone. But I met more people. It was great for dating. It was great for life. I could go wherever I wanted. I could travel wherever I wanted and go out. And confidence and everything improved massively. And so it was just independent. It was great for independence, for confidence, for everything. And so it made no difference to me whether I was going to a bar, to a club, any country in the world, didn't matter. Traveling on your own didn't matter at all because it made so much sense. You're born alone. You can go all around the world and do whatever you want. It's a complete nonsense. Everyone, I've got to have a friend because if someone sees me alone, then they think I'm weird. It's crazy. And then well, how much are they actually going? How much are they meeting people? How much are they traveling? How much are they doing what they want to do? They don't because they're so scared of not fitting in with the crowd. And that's the same as relationships. People becomes the comfy position is being in a relationship in society. The society accepts you. Society says, they're safe because they're in a relationship. And then you're weird if you're not. But do you know how much freedom you get not being in a relationship? You can do what you want with your life, right? Now, there's massive pros and cons for both, right? And people always look at, they must be weird if they're like that. I've been in relationships and I've been single all different times in my life. You have got huge pros and cons there and huge society judgments, pushing and pulling, okay? When I've spoken to thousands of people over the years of all different age groups, and when I speak to sort of men and women in their 60s and 70s who've lost their partners or whatever, and often they say to me, Rob, I'm the happiest I've ever been in my life. I say, you're the happiest you've been in life? Yeah, I'm free. There's no society judgment. I can travel and do what I want. I don't really want to settle down again. I'm very happy like I am. You see, perspective, how key that is. Most of the world doesn't follow any of this. Most of the world, even someone who's confident online, who looks confident, how confident really are they if you put them in challenging situations that challenge that? It's like when people say, I don't care what anyone thinks. Yeah, but that's because they think that that thing is not bad. Like they might think, I don't care if anyone thinks I say a joke that people don't laugh at, because they think, it's fine, that joke. Shame attacking exercises do the opposite. You're going to feel shame. Like if you're counting out your change really slowly in Starbucks, holding everyone up and they think you're really weird. People don't like that feeling usually. Things like I said, the Albert Ellis walking a banana experiment. People are going to think you're just come out of a mental hospital and are very strange. People aren't going to like that. People don't want to do that. And let me just highlight, that's not an exercise that I've done that a couple of times. And I've done it in the most embarrassing places you could ever do it. I did it specifically like near a port in Spain where it was busy and everyone was dressed up for a night out, all nice cars going along, and then did it. So everyone's like complete social rejection. Very empowering feeling going through that. But I can tell you don't want to do that. Your body doesn't want to do that. So in certain situations, that exercise, Albert Ellis had highlighted how important that was for some people that had very bad social anxiety. I didn't have bad social anxiety. I just did it because I saw that Ellis had recommended it. I don't particularly recommend that exercise as a chosen one. I can't think of giving that out to anyone for the last 2 years. And normally things that I suggest to someone to do is something that you can just lightly challenge shame by like counting your change out slowly in a cafe, by like ordering a cup of coffee, then changing your mind, a cup of tea, and then a cup of coffee again, just as they're ordering. So they're thinking, God, he's really annoying, those kind of things, which people don't like to feel like they're wasting time. Sending food back, saying that you didn't like it in a restaurant, so you're getting that judgment. Going into a bookshop, asking for a book on OCD, saying you've got really bad OCD, something like that, so you get judgment. So many variations of this. I could tell you a whole long list of the most sort of embarrassing shame attacks I've done. And trust me, some of them are like you really wouldn't want to do. And I just did on myself because I thought it would be very good for challenging shame. And I found, and Albert Ellis had clearly highlighted how important, not how important, they're not always needed. I mean, I don't that often do shame attacking exercises these days, but they are very helpful for a lot of people. And I think when you look at all that then you realize confidence and all these different things. Like I was saying in that last video about asking people out in the street or in the day, people don't like to do that. People don't like to ask people out in the day because they think, oh my God, without alcohol or without it being sort of music and dark and a lot of people, then I will feel too, if I get rejected, it will feel too scary. So there's all these things. And just ask yourself, are you living how you want to live, or are you following a crowd? Are you watching films because your friends watch them? Are you scared of people pleasing? So you're always doing things that your friends like, listening to music, going to concerts your friends like. What about just completely looking at things that you like or is different? Looking at something that's completely different. What happens if the thing that you like is weird or is not really accepted? Why not? You look at the great independent thinkers, the really confident, the people who change the world. They aren't following the crowd. The crowd delivers a result of the same. So there's barely much thinking going involved in a lot of it, and you're getting the same result as everyone else. If you want to see things differently or see a different insight into the world, you're going to have to go off the beaten track a bit. You know, it's like it's like when you're a kid, you are discovering the world. You're thinking, oh, what's this weird animal? What's this? I like to go with my bike down to where this forest is or something. You haven't been told to go there and you're doing something a bit different off the beaten track. And then you're discovering life because you're inquisitive, you're discovering. And then when we get older, it's all about safety and control. Like Hemingway, I think one of the quotes was saying like, old men aren't so much wise, they're cautious. That's how life becomes, this comfort trap. Look, if you go and see a 4x4 for sale in a magazine, it's always couple and a dog and a nice garden to show security and safety and fitting in with society and the norm. For someone like me, that probably put me off buying the car. But for the average person, it allows you to feel that sense of comfort, right? It allows you to feel that sense of comfort, and you want that comfort. Now, I'm somebody who obviously understands both. I'm for relationships and for single life, for both. I think there's great pros and cons for both. I don't really like the norm. I don't like the average. I hate that sort of, that feeling of just having to do what everyone does. I'm not a big fan of when people say, oh, just come along to this and do this to a thing that I don't really want to do. I think, well, I'm giving up a day of my life to do that. So I'm always thinking like, what do I want to be doing in my life? And to really be happy, you have to kind of be a bit sort of fiercely independent on your choices. And then that's not going to make everyone happy. And then Albert Ellis' book on happiness says, happiness does involve a bit of selfishness. And it does, because you've got to choose for you in a lot of cases. That doesn't mean you're going to go out and be the most selfish person ever. That's not going to deliver happiness either. Of course it's not. Happiness tends to come from helping others and connecting with others and all these kinds of things. And I think, and I do that in my job. Helping people with OCD gives me a lot of happiness because it's exciting, and the journey, and remembering where I was and how difficult it was and those things. But I think it's important for you to think about, are you following the crowd because you're scared? Are you following that crowd because you've just learnt to do that your whole life? Because if you are, you're not living for you. And I'm not saying just to go and run out and do something completely different, but I'm saying take that into consideration, because most people do. Like I said, if I go on Instagram and I look at footballers, it's the same car, it's the same watch, it's all of them thinking, oh my God, look at this watch, oh my God, look at this car. We know that that's going to happen with humans. They make more money, they buy the same thing, then they show it off because they didn't have it before and now they have, so they want everyone to see what they've got. And it's the same as celebrity culture. I want to be noticed, then I'm noticed, and I want to tell everyone, the whole world, I'm noticed, because it is that. It comes from that a lot of the time. If you look at a lot of people who are desperate to be celebrity or something like that, comes from a sort of, no offense to people who want that, but it does come from a point of sort of mummy look at me, like I just want to be noticed, and then doing that in the real world and so on. I'm not talking about musical talent, film talent, I'm talking about celebrity for the sake of being celebrity. It tends to come from that, if you look at that, of really wanting to be noticed. Nothing wrong with that. I know people who do that and are very happy doing that, but I'm saying it often comes from an unhealthy place of that. I really need to be noticed. And so you've got to think of those things. You've got to look at that and say, why do I need to be noticed? Why do I need people to accept me? Why do I need people to think this of me? Why do I need that? And then think, like, am I following the crowd? Like I said there with the footballers, celebrity things, it's all the same. It's always the same shirts, the same clothes, the same car. And then if it's original, it's often not original. It's being opposite to the crowd for the sake of being opposite to the crowd, and then picking the same things as the people who are opposing the crowd would pick. So that's not actually being original. So there's loads of things like that you can see in life. It all follows these patterns. So you've got to think how you want to be, what you want to do. I'm not saying go out and be completely independent. I'm just saying factor this in and think about how you want to be. You've got one life, you're on a rock floating throughout space, and you're on it. And you've woken up here at the odds of trillions to one for a very short human lifespan. Are you living how you want to live? Or are you doing it just because your friends think you should be like this? Your partner thinks you should be like this? Now, with OCD, it can, of course, go, oh my God, I'm missing out on my happiness. I've got to go and make change today. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying to make change and escape. And I'm just talking about a light perception. I'm not talking about a sudden shift. It's just being aware of that. It's important, because otherwise that's a compulsion and avoidance. So it's just important to bear that in mind. So that is the message of today. There'll be a lot more messages coming, because I'm in a mood for doing messages and videos. So I'll be doing a lot more videos covering this stuff. All right, guys, see you later. Take it easy.